Greetings, 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 beautiful beings. So, I was walking and I had on my flip flops. And then all of a sudden I stepped on something and all of a sudden I kicked something. And it was like a big piece of metal. But it was solid though. It didn't cut me or nothing. It just hit the corner of my toe and it broke my toenail. And I'm like, what? And then something just said, Okefenokee. And I'm like, you hear the word okie dokie, but I just out the blue said Okefenokee. And I'm like, what is that word? So I'm getting somewhere so I can sit down and Google the word, and it's real. It's a real word. And it's a tribal word, an American tribal word that means land of the trembling earth. And the word is known by Creek Indians now, or the Creek Nation. Now, they may say that's in Oklahoma somewhere, but we all know that Georgia and Alabama is the real Creek Nation, okay? So what am I trying to tell you right now? Our spirits are powerful if we can let the body rest. Say it again, Revere Skye. Our spirits are powerful if we can let the body rest. I'm going to tell you another thing about this fasting. My spirit told me, do things in moderation, but I wasn't thinking like an obese fat person. What they think they are allowed to do in moderation. No, 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 no. It was saying fast, but supplementally, get your nutrition, get your food, okay? This is the 7th day that I'll be water fasting. So I want to complete this day. It's very important that I complete this day. And possibly an 8th day just to make sure that I did 7 full days, okay? And what the Spirit meant by do things in moderation is that I don't have to prove my fast the way I think I do because I'm already tapped in. But what I need to do is learn to control my impulses. See, I'm the type of person, I could go to a crab boil or a seafood boil and I want to spend $60. You know what I mean? But really, $60 ain't that much, but I should keep it simple. You at the seafood boils, spend $40, spend $30. Try to spend $25, you know what I mean? But yeah, I could go somewhere and I just, because I'm trying to stay away from the pork and stuff. Like if I was open to eating anything, things would be a lot cheaper. If I was just open to eating canned foods, things would be a lot cheaper. But I know for a fact that I need energy. I need living plants. I know this for a fact. So if I can't have living plants the way I want them, I want to eat what makes me happy, okay? And me going to eat a rack of ribs, I'm sure back in the day I would enjoy them, and I'm sure today I would enjoy them, but that's not going to make me happy. So I feel like I'm going to try to eat the stuff that's living, but I do know one thing about it. It's hard to find roughage, okay? You can find the genetically modified everyday salads, but it's hard to find roughage like kales and bean sprouts and stuff like that. So I do go to like Asian restaurants to eat their soups because they got bean sprouts and mushrooms and stuff like that. I go to Thai restaurants. I go to Roman bowl places because they got the Thai basil and stuff. They just have living plants and they don't overcook your food. So I just feel like, yeah, I need to go spend $15 or $20, versus trying to go eat a hamburger and be clogged up and can't breathe. It's a big difference. A lot of people don't see it that way. But if you don't kill the chicken and cook it right then and there, you're not living. I'm serious. If you do not kill the meat and eat it right then and there, man, you really not eating life no more. You're eating death. And don't get me wrong, shrimp and seafood are the same way. If you don't catch what you eat, it's all about catching what you eat in the indigenous world. You're supposed to catch what you eat. See, when we start using these refrigerators and holding on to stuff in these freezers, that's really when the sickness started. You're supposed to catch what you eat. But guess what? We don't have time to catch what we eat, do we? That's why I like to go to those big fish markets that have the catch of the day. And you can see by their eyes that they're fresh. You know what I mean? So back on topic, which I've kind of lost the topic. I've kind of really lost the topic. It was about the Okefenokee. Okay, back on the topic about the Okefenokee. So, how does fasting correlate with this affirmative action, this affirmation? It opened up a channel in me. It's kind of bad. I had to kind of hurt myself for the word to come out, but the word came out through that channel in my brain. And someone tried to disturb my peace this morning. I've never underpaid, made nobody wait or nothing. And the person called me 6 o'clock in the morning asking me who was going to pay them, or else they was going to wait to do the job when I got back. And I was like, I'm not worthy of you doing a job on credit. I told you who's going to pay you today. So it's just strange how I said, have I ever not paid you on time? They said, no. I said, didn't I tell you who was going to pay you? Yeah. I said, you make it seem like you about to go knock on their door and ask for the money right now. And this ain't no debt issue or nothing. It's somebody about to do a job, and I need them to start doing the job while I'm gone, not while when I get home, I just want to get the job done, the rest of the job done. I don't want to have to start the job because I'm doing multiple things at one time, and this person is supposed to be reliable enough. So anyway, this person tried to shut the channel down that's open, but they're not going to shut the channel down that's open because I already put that demon in check. You know, demons will come. Oh, you're advancing. You're advancing. Let's startle you. Let's make you angry. Let's frustrate you. Let's have you yell from the top of your lungs so we can fuck you over, so you can close that channel that's open. That's what they do. So getting that word just remind me of my tribe. I am Muskogee Indian from Columbus, Georgia. And as I say, you see how it's Muskogee, but they named the city Columbus because they letting you know how we got robbed and pillaged and how they had to take us out of our zone, who we naturally are, who we are. You get what I'm saying? So they had to make it Columbus. And I said, now look, how the hell we a city named Columbus, but we don't take off for Columbus Day? Because the spirit ain't going to allow you to celebrate some crook day, okay? The spirit of that land not going to allow you to celebrate that day. For real. You know, they could name it what the city, whatever they wanted, but the county don't lie. And right across the Chattahoochee River is Alabama, the Creek Indians. So we are the Muskogee and Creek Indians. But when you go to Oklahoma, it says Creek Nation, and it got in parentheses Muskogee. So what they saying, we migrated out there? That's a new false hope. That's what that is. That is a new false hope. Got to be. But right now I'm in that area, so to hear me when I hit my toe and say Okefenokee, that means a lot to me. I actually think that's a city somewhere too. I'm gonna have to look into that. But it shows what channels I've opened from fasting. And I'm gonna open many more channels from fasting. So now, just like the spirits say, you don't have to water fast like me. But if you could go in moderation and give yourself a break, do it. Also, nutritional food that's light on the colon, light on the stomach, light with processing. The only foods that are light with processing are fruits and vegetables and alkaline grains and herbs, okay? They're light on the digestive system, meaning you don't have to do much work. They're going to make their way out of you faster than your body can break them down, okay? So, yeah, so intermittent fasting, what I always used to do or still do, don't eat before 12, don't eat after 7. And just because you're not going to eat after 7, that don't mean you're supposed to pile up this big old plate. No, because your body still got to break this down while you're asleep. So you need to eat in moderation. Have you one piece of bread, whatever type of bread that is. Have your grains and a lot of greens. You need a lot of greens on your plate. And one piece of chicken breast or one strip of fish, and that be it. And let your digestion rest. And know this, if you go to sleep with an empty stomach, you dream better. You hear better. It's more clairvoyant. It's more audible. You see better. Everything's more vivid. You receive more information, okay? But if you go to sleep and your digestion system has to process the food, you're going to have more problems because you're not going to get everything you need. Now, this is phase 1. I'm about to go to phase 2 where I remove the plaque from the body. Also, I'm going to be with my family, so I'm not going to let them get me off my diet, okay? So, yeah, I may cook a pot of soup or something, but I'm still going to be on my plaque removal diet because you're allowed to eat a meal with that. But I'm still going to be doing the fast. I'm not going to eat before 12. I'm not going to eat after 7, okay? And, yeah, I'm not going to sit up here and go turn up because I did a 7-day fast. No. Because the foods we crave are not the foods that give us the information we need. See, this is the thing. People say, you can eat this, this, and this. Okay. But what information really are you gaining from eating that frozen meat? Like, it's not about if it was dead or living or if it got eyes. It's about what information are you getting? What information are you getting from this meat? That's something to think about. I'm not telling you not to eat. I've eaten meat. Okay? I've eaten meat. I ate meat this year, 2022. I did. When I had met this guy and we went to go to Corral, we did the Dutch. He paid for his food. I paid for my food. We went to Dutch. And I told him, I said, I'm going to eat everything I want. He said, why? I said, because I'm about to fast. I'm about to do a fast. I said, I'm going to eat anything I want. I ate everything but pork. I sure did. So don't get me wrong. I'm not telling y'all not to eat meat, but I've learned through the process of trial and error that plants give me more information, more life, and more substance than meat. I went 5 years without meat. We know this. I went 5 years without meat. I'm still here. Still got my teeth. Still got my hair. Still got my sight. Still got my vision. So don't tell me you got to have it. That means you're a whole different species. You're not one of me. You didn't come from my tribe because my tribe ain't got to eat no meat. It's a proven fact we ain't got to eat no meat. My grandma is just like an Asian. She will give you a bunch of vegetables and she'll sprinkle like she'll get one hamburger patty and cook it and sprinkle that little hamburger meat in there. She give you she give you meat like a treat. She give you more vegetables than meat. She always just sprinkle your meat. Like when my mom just said, I told grandma I ain't want no ham. Well, she called her mama. I told mama I ain't want no ham. And she she sliced her a little slice of ham and put it with all them vegetables on her plate. I promise you. So we've always eaten meat in moderation. It has always been a treat. It has always been a reward. It has never been something that we consume daily. I got people right now that say, I want fried chicken and french fries. I say, hold up, wait a minute. We at a fine dining restaurant and you ordering french fries. I don't understand. I can't compute that. So yeah, you got potato and starch type people. Okay? And I'm not knocking you. You probably move it around and can run faster than me, but I'm telling you now, I'm not in this to use this body the way you use it. I'm in it to get the intel and information from source. And I know for a fact, if I'm swimming and swelling mean like swine. If I'm swimming and swelling, I'm not tapping into source. But if I get that inflammation and fluid off my body and give my digestion a break, my first brain, then I can start to receive the information. I'm not knocking nobody that eat meat. I already said I want me some 100% deer sausage. I already said that. But see, they slick put pork fat in the deer sausage because deer ain't got no fat. So I want me a deer. I do. I want a deer. And I want it all ground up into sausage. I ain't lying. So don't get me wrong, but that's what my spirit told me to eat. My spirit told me to eat deer meat if I'm going to eat anything. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell people what to do. But if you're eating frozen box food, chicken patties, hamburger meat, and you ain't grinding, you ain't going to the meat market grinding up your own hamburger meat and stuff, you know what I mean? You might need to rethink things because it's real out here. You got to be able to identify your meat. All this box foods, all these shortcuts, y'all really setting a tone for the planet that should not be here. Now, we could have waste problems from big plants and stuff, but we got waste problems from people trying to live using a microwave. We got waste problems from people trying to live the box shelf life, the freezer section life. Do you know how many foods, McDonald's and all these franchises and use frozen food? It's just so much frozen food, frozen fruit, frozen food, frozen food, frozen food. Do you know all the packaging? Then they have to pack the food and give it to us. And do you see all the trash? We need to humble down. We need to identify our food. We need to catch our own food. We need to grow our own food. That's the only way our elders lived so long eating pork and chitlins. But today, you can't go eat pork and chitlins and then go eat fast food for 2 weeks and think you could go back and eat them pork and chitlins. That's not going to work. It's not the same vibration. It's not the same tone. You're eating pharmaceutical foods, and then you're trying to eat what we used to eat back in the day. I love chitlins. I love pig feet. I love pig ears. But I know for a fact, if I eat that stuff, it's going to open a Pandora box for me to eat anything. Anything. I'm going to want to go to McDonald's. I'm going to want to go here. I'm not going to have no health conscious about myself. And I love those things. Those things are delicacy to me. I love goose liver. I love liverwurst. I love, what's it called? Hog head cheese. Man, Y'all don't understand. But the thing is, if you don't know how to incorporate them vegetables into your life and you just want to go eat that white bread and cook that food and you running away from them vegetables, or you feel like you got to put meat in all your vegetables, that's not the life. That's not the life. And I had to discipline myself and train myself to know you can eat this roughage and live just like those other people. That's right. I would eat everything on the hog. I ain't wasting nothing. No testicles, no mountain oysters, nothing. The tongue, cow tongue, that's the best thing in the world. Cow cheek, that's the best thing in the world. Cow tripe. Right now, I want to go to the African restaurant and eat tripe right now. So don't play with it. But I had to learn, if you're going to incorporate these foods, you need to go kill your own pig. You need to go kill your own cow. You need to grow your own food. So you never know. You may one day see me cooking some chitlins on a cooking channel. But guess what? I'm going to be done killed my own hog. Not going to keep eating these chemicals. These chemicals are real. The parents from before are not eating what they was eating 40 years ago. Why you think they on all this medication? Because they're not eating what they ate 40 years ago. And then the frequency war. If you're not vibrating at the right frequency, you can't bounce that shit off. If you notice these people that they talking about 100 years old and 106, they don't have cell phones. They don't have Wi-Fi. So they're not being bombarded. They're not being triangulated with radiation. So we could keep talking about what's good and what's bad. Man, 100 years ago, meat was way cleaner than this food today. So y'all can sit there and say I'm lying or not. That's your business. That's your business. But I'm the one who can observe if I eat too much salt or if I eat too many chips. Dang, my foot just got a little fat. My hand just got a little fat. Let me not eat these. Okay. The food our elders and parents used to eat 40 years ago is not the same food. Where our bones are not being built like their bones, our body and resistance is not being built like their bones. Grown folks don't get acne. Grown folks ain't allergic to things. Not like we are. Like, how in the world you got natural wheat berries like kamut and people worried about gluten? Glue, natural glue has always been in wheat, even natural wheat, wild wheat. It leaves a gelatin behind. Almost everything leaves a gelatin behind. Now all of a sudden you can't eat gluten. Yeah, you probably can't eat hybrid gluten, but you're supposed to be able to eat that natural gluten that came from the kamut. So now back to this 40 years ago. Our elders that lived to be 90s, 80s, and 90s, the elders that lived to be 80 and 90 and 100 years old, still living today, their body already got the resistance to fight whatever. They don't have cell phones and Wi-Fi. My grandma ain't got no cell phone. My grandma ain't got no Wi-Fi. My mom just put Wi-Fi in her house. So when she come over and stay for a month or two, she'll have the Wi-Fi. So now the food that they used to eat didn't have all these new pharmaceutical drugs in it. They didn't have to cover up this old meat. Now we got people prefer food with no bones in it. Okay, so You want the meat, but you don't want to know where the meat came from. Now we got problems because now they about to feed you whatever they want to feed you because you don't know what it is. You don't know how it was grown. You probably eat chicken with no wings. You probably eating chicken that didn't have blood. You probably eating a test tube baby. You're not eating anything wild. So we have people that are consumers in disguise manipulating the indigenous people. Say it again, Revere Skye. The people who want box food, frozen food, are the people who are manipulating the people that don't mind cooking their own fish and chicken, killing their own chicken, catching their own fish. That's right. You don't know what they putting in that ground beef. You don't know what they putting in that ground turkey. We all just taking chances. So when people protect meat, they're protecting the wrong standard. That's what we have to get down to. That's what we have to narrow it down to. It's not that veganism has a problem with meat eaters, but meat eaters have no standard. You got to go outside the United States to get a standard with meat. The people outside the country, they may have flies on their meat, but they know what their meat is. They know where it come from. They don't have no warehouse out in the middle of nowhere growing stuff from a lab. A lot of people do not want to be able to identify their meat. They don't want to know what part of the body it come from, where it come from. Just take all the bones out. It was a lady at the fish market said, now, if you buy trout, Florida rainbow trout, it got a bunch of bones in it. I mean, so many bones. It was like the fish was saying, don't eat me. I'm the last person you want to eat. The lady said, I fed that fish to my parents and it still had a bunch of bones in it. But the trout has bones that are not even connected to the spine. Like when you go by the stomach meat, it just got bones out there that are not even connected to the spine. You'll be picking bones out of trout for days. That's why I don't buy it. But just imagine you're feeding fish to a person that can't realize that they got a bone in their mouth. That's a problem. I learned young to choke on fish bones. My grandma always made us pull our fish off the bone as we eat it. She taught us how to pull the fins off, the spine off, and you eat the fish, you slide it off the rib cage as you eat it. I ain't never had a problem. They raised us right. We're not in a society where we're going to freak out if we choke on something. We got to be baby fed. I don't know what type of society we living in. Ooh, no. I don't want nobody to die. So that means that we're eating either too fast or just completely lack knowledge. We're eating too fast or completely lack knowledge. Because I don't understand why everybody needs stuff boneless. Okay? So back to this 40 years ago. Grandparents were connected to the soil, had trees around them. They weren't in these big old high rises and projects with all this concrete. They had nutrients in their food. They weren't growing things in greenhouse when they was suckling breast milk. They got all the nutrients they need as a baby. But now these babies now, allergic to everything. Everything irritate them. But do you know you can eat something long enough you get immune to it? We do it every day. These Debbie cakes and stuff, we got immune to them. You clean your system out for 6 months and don't eat none of this extra stuff out here. You'll be allergic to all of it again. You'll be allergic to all of it. So what am I trying to say? Y'all be mindful. Nobody's knocking y'all meat, but y'all ain't got no standard for your meat. At least the people that say things are kosher. You go to a halal restaurant, they have things kosher. It may not be your sanitary standard. It may not be your sanitary standard, but it will be halal and kosher. And the food will be prayed over. Maybe not like that, but holistically, when they pray over their business, they pray it over your food too, because that's the only way you're going to be able to come back. And when you go to a Jewish place, they don't have all them chemicals. Go to a Jewish grocery store. Go to a Jewish restaurant. Sit down and eat. And you will see the difference. You'll see a big difference. A real big difference. They're not selling you a bunch of box food frozen. They're selling you real deal food that they cook. They're not putting a bunch of chemicals in their food. They're not using prepackaged seasonings that have chemicals in them, like MSG. So it's just something to think about. That's all I can say. So it's not the fact that people eat meat, but it's the standard of the meat that you're eating. Just like we always say, that's why the vegan community always say, grow your own food. That's why preppers always say, grow your own food, whether that be meat or vegetables. Grow your own food, because the standard that you're eating food today is not the standard that you're eating food today is not the blessings of all blessings. That's all I can say. I'm going to keep God out of it. It's up to you and your God. But I'm sure if God had to choose what you were supposed to eat, that's not the way you're supposed to be able to eat. And then if you do kill them animals, you're supposed to be praying over that food. You're supposed to be praying over that food. God's supposed to be getting them first blessings if that's what you praying over. That's a sacrifice. That's a blood sacrifice. You're supposed to pray over that deeply, rootedly, and give an offering. That's right. So all this commercialized stuff, these rituals ain't right. Y'all ain't even doing the rituals no more. Y'all just eating. And don't get me wrong, I do it too. I do it too. But I do know one thing about it. I'm always thanking this planet and every aspect about it for allowing me to see the truth. Like I say, people don't have nothing against meat eaters. If it's a ritual, that's mean it's a part of your religion or what you believe in, and it's a certain way you do it. But when you start eating box food that has no life, that's frozen, those are supposed to be emergency foods. Now people are living off them, being self-sustaining, saying, "Ooh, my doctor got me on these pills, Baby, get me that TV dinner out the get me that TV dinner out the freezer and warm it up for me so I can watch my show." Man, that's for the birds. That is for the birds. We gotta learn. It's not about what you eat, but it's about how you put emphasis on it. Bring alchemical structure to it, alchemical nature to it. Ain't nothing about something that's lifeless holding nutrients. Those are tri-product nutrients, not byproduct nutrients. Tri-product. The product on the ground, one product. The cow ate it, that's another product. It assimilated in the body, that's another product. Now you getting it. That's a craving. That's a blood craving. That's not a nutritional balance. That's a blood craving. And that's a chemical reaction to make you happy. When you feel like you need it, when you feel like you need it, so you can't be without it. But can you actually just eat meat your whole life and live a natural life? Ask yourself that. Can you just eat chicken, meat, fish, dairy, and no vegetables? And actually, when you get a cold, go eat a hamburger. When you get a cold, go eat some barbecue ribs. When you get a cold, go eat that fried fish. Let me know how long that sickness stay in you. Because everybody I know that get a cold be eating a bunch of broths, a bunch of liquids, a bunch of soups, stuff that got a lot of liquid in it, warm liquid, warm tea. They ain't eating no rack of ribs, no hamburgers, no chicken wings, unless they just gonna live with it. I know a person right now. I know a person right now been coughing up mucus for the last 4 months. I say, man, you ain't got over that cough yet, that mucus. It's cold, man. It's cold. No, ain't never died. Ain't never detoxed. Ain't never went on a liquid diet. Ain't never just said, I'm going to eat roughage for 7 days and get all this mucus out of me. You think you get that mucus from eating vegetables? No, you get that mucus from eating meat and dairy. Say it again, Revere Skye. You get that mucus from eating meat and dairy. And everybody want to sit up here and use our elders as an example. They used to eat it. They lived to be 92. They did not have Wi-Fi. They did not have microwaves. They didn't have radiation around them. They didn't have cell phones to their ears, changing their molecular structure. They was able to fight off that stuff back then. They didn't have the probiotics and pharmaceuticals in the meat, the drugs around them, the fake toxic shelf foods assimilating their DNA. Then they were pure natural beings. They could fight off that stuff. Now what we have, 60 and 70 years old, legs swole, still praying to Jesus Christ, talking about save you. Still saying, "Ooh, I eat a little bit, baby. Just give me a tablespoon. Give me a tablespoon." And God forbid all these women that feel like you got to put all that sugar and stuff. Man, sugar ain't nothing but a information blocker. Man, I know a girl. It's this lady. I go pick up my UPS boxes from her, but she black owned. And so I was like, well, let me support them. So I tried to get the healthiest thing she had, sweet potato pie. It was so much sugar in this sweet potato pie, I couldn't even taste the sweet potatoes. The sweet potato already naturally sweet. You sprinkle a little salt on it, you could taste all the sweetness from the sweet potato. So since you're making it a pie or a dessert, why do you feel like that pie needed more than 1 cup of sugar? Who are you feeding this to? I'm not a crackhead. I don't need my brain lighting up where the damn cocaine and crack light up at. I don't need that much sugar. I like to taste my tannins and the tartness of my food. That's like you give me a cherry pie. Why would you put so much sugar in the cherry pie to the point you can't taste the tartness? Like my coconut water. Why would you put sugar in my coconut water and it's supposed to be 100% coconut water? It's something to think about. I know for a fact I've been living in Georgia down south forever, and we never knew to put sugar in our grits. I'm at school eating breakfast, and every kid sitting beside me put sugar in their grits. Let me tell you what that. Let me tell you what that sugar did. Y'all need to observe this. Try it one day. That sugar, when we put it, now the grits were thick and they were fine. When we sprinkled that sugar on the grits, the water separated from the grits. So if the water separated from the grits, just imagine what that sugar is doing inside your body. Why didn't that water thicken and turn into a syrup? Why did that water separate from them grits? So that should let you know they didn't even cohere together properly. Have some grits one day, the way you like them. Then add some sugar on top of them. All the water gonna draw out the grits. Some weird stuff now. But it bind the grits, but it didn't bind that water. But no, I didn't do that. I did it twice in my school year, and I looked at them like they was crazy. I don't need sugar on my food to eat it. And that's why I can't go to a lot of black restaurants, because they overdoing it. It's a high, it's a drug. That's why I shared that video about them indigenous aboriginals from Australia. The lady told you they brought jam, jelly, and bread and sugar, and they thought the food was so convenient to them that they quit hunting and gathering. They quit foraging for their own food, and next thing you know, they all got diabetes. Watch the show. Watch the Aboriginal lady talk about it. She said she had to quit. She said she had to quit. She had to just leave them. She said she wasn't going back to them hospitals. The only reason why she went back to the hospital, asked the lady, did her sugar go down? The lady said, yeah, my sugar went down. And she told the lady, I ate grass seeds for 2 weeks and drank water. That's what she said. And she said she never went back into that city and got that jelly, sugar, and bread. So y'all can get it twisted if you want to. All I know is y'all could make excuses talking about what your elders did, but you're not diagnosing what your elders did. Your elders ate clean. They ate clean. They ate from nature. They hunted and gathered. They didn't have Wi-Fi, cell phones bombarding their molecular structure with radiation. They didn't have